What up? What's up, guys? Bishop here reading James 4, still reading through the book of James. I went to church yesterday, it was awesome. I talked about Revelation. I took a bunch of notes. I'm going to be having a lot of videos coming from that sermon. I got a lot out of it. So it was deep. But here we go, James 4. There's three titles of this: Drawing Close to God, warning against judging others, and warning about self-confidence. So here we go. James 4. This is the New Living Translation again. What is causing the quarrels and fights among you? Don't they come from the evil desires at war within you? You want what you don't have, so you scheme and kill to get it. You are jealous of what others have, but you can't get it, so you fight and wage war to take it away from them. Yet you don't have what you want because you don't ask God for it. And even if you ask, you don't get it because your motives are all wrong. You want only what will give you pleasure. You adulterers, don't you realize that friendship with the world makes you an enemy of God? I say it again, if you want to be a friend of the world, you make yourself an enemy of God. What do you think the scriptures mean when they say that the Spirit of God has placed within us is filled with envy? But he gives us even more grace to stand against such evil desires. As scriptures say, God opposes the proud, but favors the humble. So humble yourselves before God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Come close to God, and God will come close to you. Wash your hands, you sinners. Purify your hearts, for your loyalty is divided between God and the world. Let there be tears for what you have done. Let there be sorrow and deep grief. Let there be sadness instead of laughter, and gloom instead of joy. Humble yourselves before the Lord, and he will lift you up in honor. This next part, verse 11, is warning about judging others, against judging others. Don't speak evil against each other, dear brothers and sisters. If you criticize and judge each other, then you are criticizing and judging God's law. But your job is to obey the law, not to judge whether it applies to you. God alone, who gave the law, is the judge. He alone has the power to save or to destroy. So what right do you have to judge your own neighbor? Verse 13, warning about self-confidence. Look here, you who say today or tomorrow, we are going to a certain town and will stay there. We will do business there and make a profit. How do you know what your life will be like tomorrow? Your life is like the morning fog. It's here a little while, and then it's gone. What you ought to say is, if the Lord wants us to, we will live and do this or that. Otherwise, you are boasting about your own plans, and all such boasting is evil. Remember, it is a sin to know what you ought to do and then not do it. Wow, that's deep. That last verse, verse 17. It is a sin to know what you ought to do and then not do it. I like that. I like that a lot. I also like how it says that we ought to say, if the Lord wants us to, we will live and do this or that, instead of trying to plan our own schedule. Like it just says, that's boasting. When you do that, you're boasting about your own plans, and such boasting is evil. So it's evil to try to plan around our own schedules instead of God's. Like, that's so powerful. And I love how it says that we need to humble ourselves before God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. That was verse 7 there. And it's just so deep because, so many times I think I'm going to try to memorize this. Verse 4, it says, you adulterers, don't you realize that friendship with the world makes you an enemy of God? I say it again, if you want to be a friend of the world, you make yourself an enemy of God. I just think that's so powerful that, being a friend to this world and worldly things will make you an enemy of God. The Lord doesn't want us to live for this world. He wants us to live for Him. He wants us to live to glorify Him, not to be successful and popular. I'll never forget my old roommate, Nick Garrett. One time I was telling him about this music artist, and I was like, man, he's going to be so successful. and he's just a rap artist. He's not Christian rap artist. In fact, in one of his songs, he says, I don't believe in Jesus Christ. So Nick looks at me and he says, successful to who? He was like, this world? I was like, yeah. And he was like, what does that mean? What does that matter? And he's right. What does it matter to be successful to this world, or to have money, or to be popular to this world? When what we really need to be is successful to God. And by doing that, we need to live our lives for Him, not this world, and not be friends with this world. And we just need to humble ourselves before the Lord, and resist the devil, and he will flee from you. So I encourage you guys to draw close to God, and there's so many ways to do this, by prayer, by praising, by worship, but just by, loving each other. I definitely see Christ's love through so many people. Just open your heart, take the time to listen to people, to ask questions, to actually see how your friend's day's going, or your family's day. Tell your parents you love them. Tell your son or daughter you love them, or tell anybody in your family you love them. Like my L81 video. You never know when your time is going to come. Like it says, the morning fog. You're here and then you're gone. And while you're here, I'm sure you guys might have heard of the poem "The Dash." At your tombstone, you have your birth year and then the date you die, and then there's a little dash in between. And there's a poem talking about that dash, what it represents. So what will that dash represent for you? What will it represent for me? Just something to think about, that we truly need to live our lives for Christ, and He will provide. Love you guys. You guys have a good one.